In a quiet little house by the hill there lived a baby girl named Lily, and her parents' life was peaceful. But sometimes the house felt too quiet, until one rainy afternoon, the father came home. With a small cardboard box inside was a tiny gray kitten, shivering. From the cold, the kitten looked frightened. His fur was wet, and his green eyes were full of questions. Lily, who was only 8 months old, sat on her blanket, watching him with wide eyes. When the kitten meowed softly, Lily laughed and reached out her little hand. The parents smiled and decided to keep the kitten. They named him Oliver. From the very first night, Oliver slept beside Lily's crib, purring softly, as if singing her a lullaby. When Lily woke up crying at midnight, Oliver would stand on his tiny paws and rub his head against the crib until she stopped crying. Sometimes he would even jump inside the crib and sleep next to her without moving, afraid to wake her up. As days passed, their friendship grew stronger. Every morning, Lily would crawl across the floor and Oliver would follow her, step by step. Sometimes she grabbed his tail gently, and he never complained. He just turned around and looked at her, as if saying, "Be careful, little one." When Lily started to learn to walk, she often fell, but Oliver was always there beside her, sitting in patiently until she stood again. The two of them shared everything. Lily shared her toys, her blanket, and even her food. Oliver loved sitting near her during breakfast for a tiny piece of bread to fall, and Lily always made sure to drop one on purpose. Parents noticed how happy she became whenever Oliver was near her. When Lily turned 1 year old, her parents bought her a soft red ball. She tried to roll it across the carpet, but it didn't go far. Oliver gently pushed it back with his paw. She laughed so hard that her eyes filled with tears. It became their favorite game. Every morning they played together until both fell asleep side by side on the carpet, the sunlight touching their faces. One winter night, Lily got sick. She had a fever and couldn't sleep. Her parents stayed awake, worried, but Oliver refused to leave her side. He lay next to her, pillow purring constantly. The soft vibration calmed her breathing, and she finally fell asleep. Her mother whispered, "He's like her guardian angel." Days turned into months and months into years. Lily grew taller and learned to talk. Her first clear word was not mama or papa. It was Ollie. When she said it, the cat jumped onto her lap and purred louder than ever, as if he understood she was calling his name. They grew up together. Oliver watched her take her first steps, draw her first picture, and go to school for the first time. Every afternoon, she would run home shouting his name, and he would appear at the door, waiting, tail high, eyes full of love. Time passed, and the little house by the hill remained filled with laughter. But Oliver grew older. His fur turned silver around his face and his steps became slower. Lily, who was now 10 years old, spent every evening beside him, reading stories and talking softly. She would say, "Remember when I was small and you slept next to me?" And Oliver would blink slowly, like he understood everything. One summer evening, Lily lay on the grass in the backyard with Oliver beside her, watching the sunset. She whispered, "Thank you for being my first friend. You taught me kindness and love." Oliver purred quietly and rested his head on her arm. The wind was warm, the sky turned golden, and in that moment, everything felt peaceful. Years later, when Lily became a young woman, she still kept a framed picture of her as a baby, sitting beside a small gray kitten. She would tell everyone, "This was Oliver. He was my first friend, my teacher, and my protector." And every time she looked at that photo, she remembered that some friendships never fade, they just live forever inside the heart. Please leave a like on this video and share your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe to The Gentle Bond for more incredible true stories of love, loyalty, and the magic that happens when a pet becomes family.